The Gruber family lived on a lonely farmstead, Hinterkaifeck, about 70 kilometers north of Munich. It was March 1922, and the winter still clung bitterly to the Bavarian countryside. Snowdrifts lay heavy on the ground, and nights were deathly silent. Andreas Gruber, the stern patriarch, had grown uneasy. He found footprints in the snow leading from the forest directly to his farmhouse, but none leading back. Even worse, the attic creaked at night, as though someone were up there. Keys went missing. The family's newspaper arrived late, as though someone else had read it first. His wife Casilia tried to calm him, but she too had heard muffled footsteps above the bedrooms. Their widowed daughter Victoria, young grandson Joseph, and maid Maria shared the same fears. That night, as the wind howled through the trees, something scraped across the walls of the house. A soft, deliberate sound, as if fingernails were tracing the wood. The family lit lanterns, searched every room, but found nothing. Still, when they went to bed, none could sleep. Somewhere above, in the attic, a floorboard groaned under unseen weight. The new maid, Maria, arrived at Hinterkaifeck on March 31st. She was replacing the previous maid who had quit suddenly, insisting the place was haunted. Maria felt the unease immediately. Doors creaked open without wind. At night, she heard a man's heavy breathing from the rafters. That evening, while Victoria prayed by candlelight, Andreas paced the kitchen. He kept the axe close, refusing to set it down. The animals in the barn grew restless, stomping and braying at shadows. Even the family dog barked furiously at the empty hayloft. Later that night, Maria awoke to the sound of footsteps in her room. She struck a match, no one was there. Yet the floor was damp with melted snow. The Grubers huddled together, fear gnawing at them. But outside, in the freezing woods, a dark figure stood still, watching the house from the tree line. On the stormy night of March 31, 1922, the Grubers never stood a chance. One by one, they were lured into the barn. First Victoria, then her mother Casilia, then Andreas, and little Casilia, the 7-year-old granddaughter. The unseen killer waited in the shadows, wielding a mattock, a heavy pickaxe. Blow by blow, the family fell in the hay. The last, young Casilia, fought desperately, tearing out handfuls of her own hair in terror before she was silenced. Inside the house, Maria and baby Joseph were the final victims. Their bodies left in their beds, covered with sheets. The killer stayed in the house for days after, eating meals, feeding the cattle, tending the fireplace. As if he lived there. No one ever saw him leave. Days later, neighbors noticed Hinterkaifeck was silent. Smoke rose from the chimney, but no one had been seen outside. When they finally entered the barn, they found the bodies stacked and hidden beneath hay. Inside, the dog was alive but chained, starving. The farm animals had been fed. The horror deepened when police realized. The killer had lived in the house for at least 3 to 4 days after the murders. He had cooked meals, milked the cows, and even slept in the beds. Yet no footprints were found leaving the farmstead. The case remains unsolved. To this day, locals whisper that Hinterkaifeck was cursed, that the family's cries still echo through the trees, and that someone, or something, is still out there.